ladies seem to think that when you're with them constantly, and when you're intimate with them, the ladies seem to think that maybe we're dating. So that's why she thinks that. If you were confused, that's why. What's up, y'all? Here we go again with another video of breaking down each player's performance, episode 8. We have the battle back, the EOE battle back, and it was exciting. Now, I was curious that it was that close. I was wanting to know if it was really that close, so I text one of the players, and they said absolutely 100% it was that close. So we're going to start with that and start with Tyson. Now, Tyson is he's playing a good game. At first, he was, scatterbrained a little bit. Now, all of a sudden, he understands what he did wrong. Tyson fights his way back into the game. Rob and Tyson head-to-head, and he wins. Now, everybody was wondering about that peanut butter. Tyson decided to use a fire token for some peanut butter. Now, all of a sudden, he had the energy and stamina to get further in that game and win it. So did the peanut butter really help him? Probably not. But nonetheless, it was exciting to watch. And it's fun how they implemented the peanut butter into all that in the first place. So now people are going to say, yes, the peanut butter helped him. But no, it didn't. You could tell that Tyson was focused. He says that he wasn't. He says that he's been a little weakened because of his children. I don't get that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. I think your children makes you stronger in that game. It makes you want to push harder. That's what I seen with Tyson. He pushed harder. He beat Rob at the end. It was super close. It would have been crazy if Rob would have went back in the game. Now, Rob and Amber, obviously, Amber is going to give Rob his token to get the advantage to get further in that challenge, but he still didn't take out Tyson. We all knew it was going to be a tough run with Tyson, Rob, Parvati, Natalie. We knew that they were going to be the tough competitors in that challenge. Tyson takes it. That's good. I'm happy that Tyson takes it. I like Tyson. Now, in the game, he gets back in the game. We didn't hear his name one time. Now, that's pretty amazing to get back into the game as an old school player and all of a sudden nobody even talks about you. That shows that when he got back into the game, he did what it took to keep it on the down low and make sure that there's no targets on his back. He's playing a good game. That shows it right there. He should have been out. They should have been like, oh, let's go ahead and get rid of Tyson. He even says it, that I should be the first one to go, but he wasn't. And it's kind of interesting to see how that went down. Now, we talked about Rob a little bit, Amber a little bit. We'll go ahead and talk about Parvati. I read an article that Wendell was talking about how Parvati didn't even try to work with, I call it the tools that she had. The tokens she had, the idol nullifier. Now, I'm not going to say that she didn't work hard in that challenge because I think she tried her best. But I see Parvati already checked out of the game. I don't really put it like in a bad sense with Parvati because she just had a baby, I think a little baby girl. And I think that that's what's wrong with Parvati. I don't think it's her lack of love to the game. I think it's just she has a newborn child sitting at home. She has to feel guilt as a mother that left her baby. I don't know if she's breastfeeding or anything, but if she is, that's even more convicting for her to leave her child. So I think I don't blame Parvati. I think that it's just a bad circumstance at the bad timing that she had to play the game. But I see the loss in her eyes. I see that she's you can almost see that she's lonely. And I think that's due to her child. So I don't blame Parvati 1 second. If Parvati would ring the bell, I would hate to see that. Yes, I would say quitting. But family's more important than this game. Ethan, he has any problems, he rings the bell. He has health issues. I can understand that. But we'll go ahead and move on. Now we have Adam. Poor Adam. What is up? Every episode, guys, and I had Adam as a Russell Crown twice. And everybody's like, why you have Adam as a Russell Crown? Why? Look what Adam's actually doing. Adam is staying in the game with his name on the line every episode. Adam's in trouble all the time. He gets himself out of it somehow. Maybe due to somebody else being a threat? I don't know. Probably not, because Adam is the threat. And he keeps getting further in the game. Adam makes it to the end, and he's on the line all the time. Do you consider him a winner? You have to, because his target is right there. Everybody is shooting at Adam, and he seems to stay upright and keep moving forward. Now, it's interesting that he loves the game so much. We see Adam break down a little bit. We've seen 4 people. 3 people actually break down this episode. We've seen Tyson. We've seen Adam, Sophie, and almost Rob. So, it's tough. The game is tough. And we'll go ahead and get right to Sophie right here. Now, Adam, I think he's playing a good game. I think we'll talk about Sophie next, but Adam, he's playing a good game. He's trying to work it. He's trying to stay in the game. He's trying to talk to people. He went up to Ben. Ben's like, I don't want to talk to him, which is weird. I'll talk about that in a second as well. But I appreciate that Adam stays fighting. He does not win the Russell Crown this week. Obviously, we have a pretty good... Now, Tyson could have won it, but he didn't. I like my winner this week. I think it's my favorite winner so far. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Now we'll talk about Sophie. Sophie, there you go. Sophie wins the Russell Crown this week for obvious reason. Sophie is the reason that Wendell goes home. Everybody's talking about Jeremy's trying to save Wendell. And then we talk about Nick. We talk about Adam. And Sophie understands this is what we need to do. So you see Sophie going to each player, making that strategic move. Sophie is playing a brilliant game. It is shocking that I just said that statement, but it is true. She's playing amazing, and congratulations for Sophie for getting the Russell Crown this week. Now we have Sarah. Sarah's a little bit hard for me to read at this point. I don't think that she's playing a crazy great game. She played a really good game her second time she played. This time, I don't see it being amazing. I see it being solid enough to stay in there. We see some of the secret scenes for next week. If you haven't seen it, it was Nick and Sarah going at each other. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens when someone actually comes at Sarah, and let's see if she's able to protect herself. Let's see if she gets further in the game after, even though it's Nick. And I know, go and talk about Nick now. Even though it's Nick, and Nick is, I've never considered Nick that great of a winner. He's been in trouble lately. I don't understand why Nick's in trouble. It's almost like Adam or Nick. I don't get it really, because yes, we see Nick. Maybe it's because what we just seen. Maybe it's because Nick is that aggravating. Maybe it's because he's always in everybody's conversation. It's funny how they go. Or they go like this. Nick just pops in. He just pops in everybody's conversation, and it's funny how they put it together. Everybody's talking, and all of a sudden you see Nick. Here's Nick. Here's Nick. So that may be it. Maybe he's just aggravating. Maybe they just want him out because he's always trying to get in everybody's business. But that's Survivor. That's what you do. You get in everybody's business because you don't want to go home. That's what we see Adam doing with Ben, trying to talk to Ben. And I'll talk about Ben right now. I don't get that way of playing Survivor, Ben. You just kind of shush them off, like dismiss them completely. You're playing a game of Survivor. If you don't want to talk to someone, Ben doesn't like Adam already. Adam doesn't like Ben. I don't know why those two aren't going after each other. If I was Adam, I'd go after Ben immediately, because eventually Ben is going to get Adam out of there. He doesn't like him, and he's showing that he doesn't like him, which this is Survivor, so don't show him that you don't like him. And when somebody says your name, those are the ones you get rid of. Ben doesn't even want to talk to him. Well, I don't want to talk about it. No. That's not, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll go all the way to the end and win. I don't think so. I think that gameplay will get him voted out because Adam's going to come at him. As soon as his name starts getting thrown out there, he's in trouble. All right, let's talk about Jeremy a little bit. Excuse me. Jeremy, it's funny how we see Jeremy always, his strategic plan really isn't working that well because he's never in control of anything. He likes to say he's in control, but he never is. Jeremy wants to save Wendell, but also he knows when he's not in control, and he always throws his name to the to the majority. Denise, he threw his name on Denise, his own alliance. Wendell, he threw his name on Wendell, his own alliance. So he knows when he can't win. He knows when he's in trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and not burn any bridges here and vote the way the team is voting. It's almost like he's playing as long as it's not me type gameplay, which I don't agree with. But I like fighting for your alliance. I like getting further in the game that way. I think it's important you fight for your alliance. I think he should have fought more for Wendell. I don't think he fought as much as he should have. He did fight, but Wendell went home. So that's one less of his numbers. Jeremy's in trouble. Jeremy goes in there and wins the immunity challenge, the individual immunity challenge. Now he's all of a sudden in trouble. Because I can guarantee you they're thinking we can't have Jeremy make a run. Maybe a couple of times, but Jeremy's in trouble. I did a little research on this. They've had more people won the game in individual immunity challenge. It's won 0 individual immunities. More people has won this game than any other amount, 1, 2, 3, in history. So more people won the game, won in 0 immunity challenges. That is for a reason. That is because you don't go in there and you just start winning. I'm going to win them all. Especially the first one. Jeremy wasn't in trouble. He goes in there and he wins the first individual immunity. Now he's in trouble. If he was losing and kept losing and tried to stay in the game, then they were like, well, he's not winning the immunity challenge. Like Tony. Tony is not a threat in individual immunity. Tony has never won individual immunity. Do you know that? Now you do. So he's not a threat. So Tony can easily get to the end by just staying quiet, getting, not winning individual immunity. All of a sudden, you win the game without winning any of them, which is interesting, but that's happened. It always happens. All right, now let's move on to Denise. Now, Tony goes after Denise. We'll put them two together. Tony goes after Denise by saying, those strategic plan, that's a really good move. They're calling her the Queen Slayer. Queen Slayer. She is the Queen Slayer, but it's just one move. But everybody's amping it up to like, oh, she's a great player because she made one big move. Wendell's even saying she's playing a winner's game. Like, he's not. Yes, she's playing to win. Wendell, you wasn't playing a winner's game. That's why you're home. I like Wendell. He's a cool guy. But he's home now because he wasn't playing that winner's game. uh, you know, now everybody feels threatened if you make one big move in the game. Everybody's trying to make big moves. Everybody's trying to get to the end. So that's a little confusing to me how everybody goes after and says, "Oh, Denise, she may have went home if she would have lost that challenge, but she wins and saves herself." Which now she is in trouble because she's making big moves and she just won the challenge. But I just don't understand how everybody's attacking her because she's making big moves like they're not. Like Wendell's just sitting around not doing anything, and she's playing a winner's game, so she deserves to get voted out because she's trying to play to win, and none of us are doing that right now. So it's crazy how Wendell says that, but that's what he says. And it's just, that's, I don't know. I don't get that. Comment below if you can explain that one to me. I went over Tony. Tony's playing a good game. Nick, went over Nick a little bit. You know, I don't know why he's such a threat. I said it earlier. Maybe that's the reason. So we'll move on. I have Yule down here, but we ain't going to talk about much of EOE unless they did something spectacular. And Tyson did. Rob almost did. Poor Amber, her stick broke. It's like, I was like, poor thing. Like, you feel sorry for the girl. She's trying, and, oh, shoot. Parvati, we talked about her. Now, the last one we're going to talk about right here is Michelle. We all wanted Michelle to play like she said she was going to play. Michelle said that she may have, people think that she didn't deserve the win. She's there to prove that she does deserve the win. I think that was editing showing us a little something I think she may go for because of that statement, because we're not seeing her actually. A little bit earlier we did seen a little bit with Jeremy, you know, but Jeremy's not staying with her because he changed his vote. She didn't change her vote. Michelle actually voted to keep Wendell in the game. Now, Nick did too, but it's crazy to me that she wasn't the reason that Wendell went home. We all wanted Michelle to be the reason that Wendell went home, and she's not. She was even shocked and surprised when Wendell got voted out. It shows that she's not in control of anything. It shows that she's at the bottom. I think her being at the bottom is going to be positive. I think that she's not playing a strategic game at this point on. I don't think she will. I think she's done with that. She did a little bit earlier. I think her strategic game is now finished, and I think that she will move further in the game because of that. She may make it to the end. She may win again just like she did the first time. Which if she wins twice like that, then maybe that's the way to play. To not play. So she wasn't in control of anything. She's in trouble. Let's see, who'd she vote for? I don't know who she voted for. Adam. You know, now whoever she voted for is going to be like, oh, you voted for me. That's interesting. So I was disappointed to see her face when Wendell got voted out. I was disappointed to see that she looked like she was upset that Wendell got voted out. I think those two definitely talked before the game. But as it was going on, I think they were at each other, you know, almost like exactly like a bad relationship. She said she got burnt. Wendell says they were just kicking it. I read an article. Wendell says they never were dating. And he doesn't know how she even thinks that. Which she probably thinks that because they were together 24/7 at one point in time for a long period of time. And they were intimate with each other. Maybe that's why she thinks that, Wendell. But, you know, that ladies seem to think that when you're with them constantly. And when you're intimate with them, the ladies seem to think that maybe we're dating. So that's why she thinks that. If you were confused, that's why. But nonetheless, she's still in the game. She's still playing. And I want to see Michelle start playing harder. We're going to see that together. Now, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. we're moving. We're moving fast. We're almost at 22,000 subscribers. If you like the video, like it. If you want to be notified when the videos drop, hit that notification button. Check out the t-shirts right down there. I have my merch if you haven't seen it yet. And if you want to become a patron and be more involved in this podcast / YouTube, go ahead and check that. It's right down there in the comment section. I appreciate you guys watching, and keep hope alive.